Stop saying what you gon' do till you do what you said. When you opened that Bible, you knew what you read. You felt it deep in your soul. The promise did not expire. Be inspired. I can see beyond the tears you cry and the pain you feel. I saw every hill you had to climb just to make it here. When you say you ain't afraid to die, is it faith or fear?
Yo, what's up, people? I'm your host, Jay Will, and I would like to welcome you to Inspire God's People, where we balance faith and business to guide you to your purpose. And today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin versus altcoins, understanding crypto categories. This is a part of the investment series that I've been rocking with for the past week. I probably got 2 to 3 more videos coming that I want to talk about. Look, this is time-sensitive information because there's a lot of hype around crypto, and I figured this was the perfect time to be able to start kicking it with you publicly just because it has your attention already. I am just a corporate salesperson, creative Christian that likes to talk about faith in business, and cryptocurrency is one of those unique, explosive technologies and topics that kind of crosses all of the worlds that I'm interested in. Look, as a business person, I love investing. I love, future business growth and technology and kind of understanding the trends of where the world is going. And as a creator, look, to be honest, I like to study the blockchain and cryptocurrency technology to understand, like, what ways can I leverage in the future to share my podcast or create NFTs, create music on the blockchain, whatever it may be. And so, look, this is me kicking it with you about those things and hopefully sharing some of the things that I've learned along the way. If you are just going to be catching this video, I do advise you, especially if you're a new beginner to crypto, that you check out the past 2 videos I released this week. Go to youtube.com/Inspire God's People, or just search Inspire God's People on YouTube, and you can see all of the archives of the videos that I've done on crypto, which are just a few. You know, we talk about a lot of faith and business topics, but today we're going to talk about understanding crypto categories. Now, why is this important? First and foremost, most people know about Bitcoin, right? And so, you kind of hear Bitcoin, cryptocurrency kind of used synonymously. And a lot of times, to be real, people don't know the difference. Like, well, I know about Bitcoin. I heard of Ethereum, maybe XRP or Doge, something like that. And for a person that's new to cryptocurrency, that's probably as far as it goes. But most people are telling you, like, yo, throw your money in here, invest in this. And I want to be that person that kind of comes and be the mature person in the room and kick it with you and talk about the educational side. Because, look, if you're going to invest money in something, you should know what you're doing, and you should only invest money that you are willing to lose. And please do understand that I am not a financial advisor. This is not investment advice. This is just me being a person that loves business and technology, using a reason to talk about it. All right, so Pete, the first thing I want to say is I actually got some slides today that I want to show because I thought it was important to kind of script this out. The intention of this is that, again, if you're a beginner, a new person in the crypto, that you will be able to step into this and really understand what this technology and these investments and currencies are all about. So we're going to jump right into it, looking at Bitcoin versus altcoins, and look at some of the various categories that they flow within, because honestly, even from an investment standpoint, if you understand these categories, I can't talk, people. If you understand these categories, then you may be better positioned for success in investing. All right, so let's jump into it. All right, there's one of these. Where's the slide? The way I want to share this. That's not it. It's a way that I want to share this. My bad. There we go. All right. So first things first. Oh, I'm on slide 3. All right. So Pete, understanding crypto categories. The first thing is, look, we've kind of talked a little bit about coinmarketcap.com already in previous videos, but I did want to just give like a quick recap of everything that we talked about with coinmarketcap.com. Look, coinmarketcap.com is where your starting point for all things crypto. So if you're a person today that don't know nothing about crypto or very little, I would advise you go to coinmarketcap.com And this is your starting point for, look at coinmarketcap.com as like a Fortune 100 list for crypto. One of the things I want to kind of kick it with you today and kind of get you to look at a crypto as like a company, right? Because you throw these names around, Ethereum, Solana, Doge, all these things. I think if we start using things that we already understand, it'll be easier to understand crypto, right? So you look at cryptos as a company, coinmarketcap.com is kind of where you go as like this Fortune 100 list. Now, the first page is 100. You go through the pages, you could call it a Fortune 2000 list, right? But I'm really only dealing with the top 100 cryptos. So you kind of look at it as this top, 100 crypto list is listed in order by market cap, right? So kind of like the overall value of the particular crypto. So you look at it, it starts with Bitcoin, and as it goes down, you're getting more and more risky as you go down that list. But one of the cool things about coinmarketcap.com is that it has the social media for the projects, the website for the projects, and the pricing chart for the project. So again, this is kind of your all things crypto starting point is coinmarketcap.com. And then this is where I'm going to show you how we start understanding the different categories of crypto. So that's what this video is about, understanding the categories and where these different companies, crypto companies, we're going to call them companies, but these cryptocurrencies kind of fall in. All right. So here's the first thing. There's Bitcoin. That's the big gorilla in the room, right? That's the top dog. And then everything other than Bitcoin is called an altcoin. So it's Bitcoin and altcoins. Now, these altcoins, which is going to be a lot of the focus of what we kicking on today, these altcoins, again, part of the reason I want to look at them as companies is because they fall into all these different categories. So just like a typical Fortune 100 list, if you put up the Fortune 100, companies in the world today, you're going to see everything from, retail chains to fashion design companies to hardware stores, right? And you understand those companies, the difference, between a hardware store and Apple, right? Or Apple versus Walmart. And that's how you got to kind of look at cryptos. They're not all one thing. This is really a new technology that's creating all these new companies, and they all do different stuff, and they all deliver on them at different levels. Some are doing really well. Some are really just ideas that haven't had any, real funding or real consumer base using them. And we're going to look at some of that today. But some of the top altcoins that I have on this list as a starting point for us to kind of kick it and understand is, all right, so Bitcoin, which is not an altcoin, but let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital gold. That's kind of the lane that it falls in, the way that people look at it. It is your digital version of gold, kind of a store of value. It's really your safest crypto investment. So not that it's not risky, they're all risky. But when you look at like risk levels for somebody who's thinking about risk management, if you were just a person that's like, hey, I want to be involved in this, I'm not trying to get rich overnight, but I think in the long term, I'll just put a little bit, 1% of my portfolio. I can talk, people, I can talk. 1% of my portfolio in Bitcoin, walk away for a few years, you'll probably be fine, right? In my opinion. But again, this ain't financial advice. It's just me talking on the internet. Bitcoin is more of a long-term investment opportunity. And again, it's your safest one. And this is how you got to kind of understand risk with investing. The safer you are, probably the less upside you're going to have, right? So meaning in a particular cycle, maybe Bitcoin doubles or triples, but it's not going to go up 10 times. So meaning you put in $1,000 today, maybe in the next year is $2,000, maybe at most is $3,000, right? In the next couple years. Now, over time, that'll compound and maybe grow exponentially as more people come into crypto. But that's kind of how you understand Bitcoin as that safer investment opportunity. But it's probably not going to zero. And that's what you got to understand. And even when Bitcoin drops, it's likely going to come back just because of the sheer amount of money and institutions and governments that are involved with it now. It's not likely going to zero. But as you go down the altcoin list and we look at some of these other categories, what you have to understand is these things have the ability to go way higher than Bitcoin. So some of these things can go up 10 times. Like you could put 1,000 in them and you can make $10,000, and some more than that, right? But the risk is higher. So meaning when you start investing in those riskier assets, even though the upside is much higher, the likelihood that you could lose all your money increases as well. And so that's kind of how you have to manage your risk as you dabble into investing. You want to always be thinking about, how do I balance out, short-term risk versus long-term risk and upside, right? So there's a lot to think through there, especially if you're a new investor. Again, that's why it's not advised that you just go and start throwing too much money at this stuff. I always tell people around me, start with an amount of money that don't mean nothing to you. So like if $100 is nothing to you, start with 100. If $10 is nothing to you, start with 10. I understand everybody got different amounts of money and see the value of money differently. So it's not really about the amount. It's just saying start with an amount of money that is like minuscule to you, that you can kind of play with the intention of learning, right? This is all about learning and growing and thinking about what your long-term goals are with investing. So let's keep it moving. You look at Ethereum, which is the second largest crypto. Ethereum was the first layer 1 smart contract, right? So when you think about, there was Bitcoin, and the first like technology that was built on top of Bitcoin, but to do a different, to serve a different purpose, which is this layer 1 network layer, it was Ethereum. So the advantage that they have in the market versus all these other altcoins is they've been there longer. It has some really smart people that developed it. So you got like a group of smart people that developed Bitcoin, and some of them have even branched off and started creating, some of the co-founders creating these other chains like Cardano, Polkadot comes to mind, and there's probably a couple others that some Ethereum co-founders went to create. But their advantage is like a first mover advantage, which in business and technology, first mover advantage is a really big deal. So Ethereum, like being there as that like first kind of player in that field, and they've been there longer, they're kind of proven. Institutions, so large enterprise institutions, this seems to be the chain that they are choosing to build on. So I think of like BlackRock has something called Biddle. They're building on there. There's a lot of things, articles you could pull up. I didn't bring them today to go down that road, but just think of Ethereum as like your larger organizations are likely going to choose Ethereum to build their blockchain technologies on. So that's their upside. Again, when you think about risk, Ethereum from an altcoin perspective is one of the least risky. All of them have risk. You got to remember that. But Ethereum is one of the least risky altcoins that you can invest in. But as a chain, it has high fees. So just imagine like, and we'll talk about like how these layers work and what the components of them are, I think on the next slide. But like Ethereum is kind of like, it's kind of like shopping somewhere that's expensive. That's kind of how I look at it. Like Ethereum is an expensive chain, but it's really safe and secure and solid technology. And so what you have, that's why the institutional people, like think of a big organization that wants to put something on a blockchain, and they can't risk like this technology failing. They need something really secure and really dependable. And so they're not as worried about the higher fees on it, because for them, the security is the most important thing and the established chain is the most important thing. And as we start looking at these categories of crypto, like companies, you'll start understanding like and seeing companies do different things. Again, Ethereum kind of serves this purpose as this layer 1 network for institutional people to build on. It doesn't mean that regular people can't build on it, but as an example, and I'm going a little far with this, but just as a quick example, if I created some music NFTs, right, which is something that I'm thinking through, if I created some music NFTs and you wanted to trade my music NFTs or purchase them, all these networks have fees on them. Well, Ethereum fees are high. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily use Ethereum to create my music NFTs, because I don't want the people who support me and who may purchase the NFT to like have to pay all these high fees, right? And then you take something that costs $10 and now it makes it cost $20. I'd rather use like a fast chain like Solana, which is the next one on the list we're going to talk about. That's more of like really fast, user friendly for retail consumers. It has low fees. And so if you're trading my music digitally, you're more likely to kind of come on and purchase an NFT on a Solana chain versus like Ethereum because of the fees to swap and trade, right? Anytime you trade something on a crypto network, there's a fee associated with it. So again, the next one we're looking at, and hopefully, look, if this is valuable to you, please like, share, subscribe, check us out on Inspire Guys People on YouTube. If you just jumping on, this is a part of my investment series. I believe this is the third video I've done. I got about 2 or 3 more coming. And this is just all about helping you think through investing in crypto. So the next one is Solana. Solana is from an altcoin perspective, it's the fastest growing. So when you look at in the last 12 months, you know, the crypto chain or project that has grown the absolute most from a, you know, top 50, top 100 perspective, Solana is one in the top 5 of those, right? It's fastest growing. It's getting really fastly adopted, meaning a lot of people are actually using the chain and spending money. And we're going to look at that. Like there's, you know, millions to billions of dollars being used on these chains. And this is the retail crypto of choice, right? So I said Ethereum was kind of the institutional organizations, their, you know, cryptocurrency network of choice that they want to build on. Solana is like regular everyday people. You think about all these meme coins, like things like not Doge specifically, but what has happened is in the last year, memes have exploded because there is a website that you could go to and anybody can create a meme. So there's thousands of meme coins created every day. Let me tell you, they're very risky. Like that is as risky as you could get because you literally got teenagers going and just creating a crypto, putting it on a blockchain, making $30,000 and then like ending it and taking everybody's money. So there's a lot of scams when you get into some of that kind of risky stuff. But that's no different than regular everyday life, right? People scam all the time. So you gotta understand the risk and know what to stay away from. But Solana is low fees and it's very fast transactions. So your regular everyday people is like, oh, for cheap and it's user friendly, I could go in here and just create the Inspire token and like, you know, actually be trading on a blockchain. That's happening every day on Solana. So next is XRP. We'll breeze through a couple of these. XRP is kind of it's more of a payments blockchain. It's a public blockchain. They obviously have had a lot of legal trouble since 2020 when the SEC tried to sue them, really over kind of like how they're categorized as a security or not. And now that there's new administration coming in, that's why you've seen XRP really jump. And at the end of the day, it has a lot of upside, but XRP has a lot of loyal supporters. Jason, you say, am I going to create it? I would only create, I'm right now planning how I want to engage the blockchain from a creative standpoint, but I would only create something of real value for real. Like the last thing I want to do is create something and like people start scamming it. So right now, my thinking for how I'm going to utilize the blockchain is probably some NFTs, create some music NFTs. So like I got a new music project coming out, hopefully in Q1, Q2 next year. So as I'm finishing that up, just think about like, how do I just start layering in NFTs and put my music on the blockchain? And I don't know if it'll do well or not, but it'll be a part of this learning that we all talking through. So for me, it's more, I want to use the blockchain to share more than I'm looking to like use it to make money, because I don't want to, last thing I want to do is scam somebody out of their money. I make my own money. And then I come here and share freely how I did it. All right, so the next one, let's breeze through these. We got Cardano. What's this question? Jamil, what's up, fam? Are there any cryptocurrency ETFs? Yes, there are. There are definitely Bitcoin and Ethereum have ETFs right now. That's something that I'm also gonna discuss on an upcoming episode. We haven't kind of laying this out in a way that somebody can go back to this series as a beginner and really understand. So that's a great question. And yes, Bitcoin and Ethereum have ETFs actively available right now. On Fidelity, BlackRock has them. So yeah, they're available. They're out there. On basically on the stock market, you could buy these ETFs. Cardano, a ETH co-founder created Cardano, which is a kind of like really known as having great tech, but their perspective is like to be slow, like slowly put out this tech. They're not like fast moving with like marketing and things like that. They haven't done a lot of marketing, but they have a really loyal following, like really one of the XRP and Cardano have the most loyal following. But it's kind of low adoption. And I think Cardano is something maybe you could look at for like long term. Maybe it has like XRP and Cardano may have long term some of the best value, but from like a short term perspective, they've just been slower. So many projects move faster than them. And for XRP, it was being limited by the legal troubles. For Cardano is like almost by choice. But there's a lot of rumors out there about Cardano and their potential involvement in being on the advisory board for Trump's administration. I don't know how true that is. Again, this is just all about sharing information. And then lastly on this list, we're looking at just Bitcoin versus the top altcoins. Binance, this is one that cannot be ignored. This is a robust ecosystem. Binance has an exchange, which we'll talk about what an exchange is, but they also have their own blockchain. It's low fees. I think it's kind of mixed adoption, so it's not like one of the most highly adopted, but they definitely have a loyal following, and it's an established brand. I would tell you, like when I first started investing in crypto back in 2017, I want to say this was like $10. And Binance today is $600 to $700. So that just lets you know, like for me, coming in 2017 and seeing some of this stuff for myself, and I even have notes. Like I took notes when I first came in crypto about prices and dates. I would like write the price and the date of something, and so that I can go back and look for myself. And when I go back and look at like BNB, like in all honesty, I was buying it, I think at between $8 and $16 when I came in crypto. I was buying it, but I sold it. I didn't keep it, so I'm not rich. Like I'm not rich off that. Like, so I don't want to paint the wrong picture. Like I missed that opportunity. I saw something with my own eyes go from $8 to $10 to be like $700. And I even got a friend of mine that was buying at that $8 and still has it today, but didn't buy enough. So it's like, got a lot of money, but a little money. D-Rock, what up, brother? How you doing, man? I'm actually going to hit you up tomorrow too, bro, about what we talked about last week, music stuff. All right, let's keep it moving, family. Let's go to this next thing. So, look, cryptocurrencies are like companies, and this is me attempting to try to share something new with you through the lens of something that you already know, right? So let's first look at companies like the way we know them today, right? So let's look at Apple and Samsung. These are networks. From a crypto perspective, this is like the base layer. You got Apple phone, you got Samsung phone, two completely different competitors, two completely different companies that do the same thing in a different, unique way, right? So kind of how I talked about ETH versus Solana, those are network layers, a base layer, and they have different purposes, different consumers that are kind of focused on them, right? So that's kind of how you look at those companies. And then the second piece is like each of these companies have an ecosystem. So the way we have to look at cryptos is there's companies, then there's ecosystems. So what do we know from like using Apple, right? From an Apple perspective, the ecosystem is a couple of things. You kind of have like the hardware ecosystem, which is your AirPods, which is your MagSafe charger, USB-C. That's like that can be made by Apple, but then that could be made by like Anchor or other companies that make these accessories that are compatible for Apple, right? So when you bring in those other companies, you have Apple as the base layer, but then they have this robust ecosystem that is really comprised of all these other companies that do all these other things. And Apple themselves also can play in this market. They make their own chargers, make their own phone cases, right? But in addition to that, you have the software ecosystem, which is if you just open your phone and go in the Apple App Store, all of these thousands of apps. Now, some of the apps are just for Apple, right? Things like Keynote or iMovie. These are like apps that you only get on Apple. But think about the Bible app or Instagram or Facebook. These are like apps that cross ecosystems, right? They're interoperability. So that means they could just go from one system to the other. But I want to say, like, Instagram, when it first came out, I don't know if y'all remember this, it used to be only locked to Apple users, right? And so, like, this is how you have to look at crypto. Crypto, base layer, then ecosystem, which is full of all these other companies that are just developing, either leveraging the base chain, the base layer of the network, or creating things that are compatible for that network. So just like in regular companies, a lot of things in crypto, they may cross over different ecosystems, but there's a lot of things today, the way crypto is, that are really built specifically for that chain. And then the last thing is an exchange. You get what I'm saying? So you have this exchange. This is where you go to buy and sell. D'Angelo, what up, brother? No doubt, man. Appreciate you checking it out, man. We got to catch up soon. Salute to you always, brother. Much love. That's my guy, D'Angelo. So when you think about an exchange, this is just where you go to buy and sell. So think about it from Apple's perspective. You can go to Best Buy, right, to buy or sell Apple accessories or iPhones or the things in their ecosystem. You can go to Amazon. You know, I get phone cases off Amazon and stuff like that, screen protectors all the time. So the goal here, and then look, what I love about this is Apple themselves play within their own ecosystem, because you can also go to the Apple retail store, right? They're in every mall or whatever, right? Or a lot of upscale malls, I guess you will, mid to upscale. Maybe they're not like everywhere. But my point is, you have this ecosystem that Apple themselves even play in their own ecosystem in different ways. Now, this is where this is dope, and hopefully this helped you. Now I'm going to look at Solana as a company. Solana, which is one of the top 5 cryptos that we just talked about. Now I want you to look at Solana as a company. They're like Apple. Solana is a network-based layer. That's what you see over on the left. So if you view Solana, and their token is SOL, S-O-L. So when you are thinking about investing in Solana or looking at Solana, let's kind of understand what we're looking at. We're looking at a base layer, a network that can be built upon, that there's open code. Like, you can go build something on Solana if you're a developer. I can go build something. And that's the thing about crypto you have to understand. Apple iOS is not an open source network. It's centralized, it's closed, it's owned by Apple. That means that if I wanted to take their base layer and say, hey, I think Apple is dope, I think iOS is dope, I want to take that and make a new music app for myself, Apple does that. Code isn't available to you. That's closed coded for them to create on their own layer. When you're looking at these cryptos, a lot of them are open source coding, which means if you're a developer, you can just go to their website now and get the base network coding, and then you build on top of that, right? And that's what makes cryptocurrency so unique, is that this is an open public network for regular people to just go and create and build on and own for themselves, right? That's really what this comes down to. So Solana, as a network, has a token called SOL. When you look at the tokens themselves, the token is just the currency for that network, right? So Solana, as an example, if I want to, remember I said if I want to create some music NFTs and I want to like create them and have you, we want to swap and sell, I want to have you go buy my music NFTs on Solana. When you go to make purchases on Solana, you have to use Solana currency to purchase and to pay the fees. But remember, Solana has very low network fees, meaning if you buy something on Solana, it might cost you pennies. So I may say, hey, check out this new album I dropped. It's $7 on a Solana blockchain. And now you can have this digital version of my album, and you could prove that you own it on the blockchain for $7. And maybe Solana charges you 3 cents to buy that. That's me. That's you using SOL, S-O-L, as the currency on that network. That's where you understand the cryptocurrency portion. It's just like, I don't know what the dollar, like Robux, like I know kids play Roblox, and on Roblox, you need Robux or something like that. That's just the currency that you spend on that particular network. That's kind of how crypto works, right? So like a foundation, yes, that's exactly what it is, D'Angelo. And a lot of these Not all of them are exactly the same, but a lot of cryptos are pretty much developed that way, where they're kind of ran by a foundation. Like Solana is ran by the Solana Foundation, right? It's not centralized, where even though some are more centralized than others, Solana is a little more centralized than some of the other blockchains. That's could be viewed as a negative for some people, but some are just completely public owned. Like XRP is just a publicly owned blockchain that if you are a part of that, you can vote on different changes, meaning there's no CEO that can just go change certain things. Things have to be voted on by the public owners of that. That's a great question. All right, so the first thing is Solana is this base network, and in this ecosystem. I know y'all can't see this. The goal wasn't for you to see this. The goal was for you to see exactly how many things are built on Solana today. And this is a snapshot from 2021 ecosystem. I could tell you it's way more today. So the point here is, just like in the Apple App Store, Solana, who also has a phone, by the way, there is a Solana phone. So you can buy their phone. People have made a lot of money from their phone, because when you buy their phone, they drop airdrop. It's called airdrop when they give you free tokens for other projects on the network, and that has equal to be thousands of dollars for some people. So it's an interesting thing, but they have a phone. This is, whenever you're dealing with technology, what I love about it, you at the beginning of a lot of this stuff. I don't know where all of this is going to go. I'm sure some of this stuff I'm talking about today is going to be a dud. We might look back in 5 years like that never worked out. But some of this stuff is going to be like, yo, remember when we first saw the Solana phone or heard about it and now it's everywhere? That's how I approach crypto. I don't know what's going to stick. I don't know what's going to be around in 10 years, but I think I'm at the beginning of something, in the way that the people who were investing in the internet were at the beginning of something in its infancy stages. So the Solana network, again, you can't see all that, but they got all kind of stuff being built on this network today. And we're going to look at exactly how much money is on that chain and how much money is being spent on there. It's everything from like financial exchanges, meaning the exchange where you can go to buy it. And you see on the right, there's all these different exchanges, places to buy and sell crypto, which are also a part of the ecosystem. So just like a regular company, there's a network. There's an ecosystem of a bunch of companies and things building on this network. And this ecosystem also represents a lot of the other companies, if you will, that you can go and find and invest in. So you may go find a company that is building this new idea on the Solana network. They got this new idea about, hey, and we're going to create this. Look at yourself investing in crypto as investing in startups. This is very much giving you the opportunity to invest in startups. But you got to understand, what makes it risky is there's no way all this can work. It's too early. Some stuff, like any other business, if a new restaurant comes to your neighborhood, sometimes they stick around, and the restaurant been there. Granny's Coney Island been there for 30 years. And sometime a restaurant opens up and they had decent food, but in 2 years, it's gone. That's the same thing with crypto. These companies they're just different companies with different ideas. Some of them are good and some of them are bad. And you can buy them on these exchanges on the right. Okay, now let's go out of there. Now hopefully now you can see crypto somewhat as a company. And now I want to let's look at the chains, and let's look at the money that's being spent on the chains. It's called total value locked. And that just means this is the amount of money that's currently being spent or sitting on this specific blockchain. And I think this is important because this really shows you like what's actually being adopted by people and what's just an idea, right? What up, Dewan? The Hibachi King. All right, let's look at, we're going to DeFiLlama.com. So this is just a website where you can go and learn about crypto. Let me see the best way to share this. Let's share it the same way I was just doing that other. Oh no, that's not gonna be right. Hold on. I gotta move myself out the way. Let's do that. All right, so as we're looking at this, DeFi Llama. Yes, sir, Dewan. Appreciate you, fam. All right, so as we look at DeFi Llama, right, this is just, all right, so again, I'm trying to also give resources. So you have coinmarketcap.com. DeFi Llama is where you really can go and kind of follow the money, if you will. So this is where you can actually go and see, like, all right, I heard about this crypto thing. How much money is being spent on here today? This pie chart right here, here's the takeaway. Ethereum currently has $76 billion locked on the chain. So that's how much money is on Ethereum right now. So that ecosystem that we talked about, this is all the money that's locked on the chain right now. That's the value of it, $76 billion. That means remember I told you, Ethereum, it represents 56% of the actual money in dollars being spent and locked on chain today. That's a big monster of an altcoin. And you see all these other ones, Solana is next, and it only has 9 billion. And I say only 9 billion. The takeaway really from here is I want to show people that when it comes to technology, you don't have to be first, but you don't want to be last. There are people that are still sitting around today that don't think crypto is a real thing because they don't understand it's billions of dollars already on chain. So let's go down here and just look real quick. And you may not be able to see all this on the screen, but here's my point. When you go to DeFi Llama and you hit chains here on the side, we're not going to look at all this other stuff. We're just going to look at the chains. There's a lot of things you can research here. This is showing you in order, like, hey, this is the number one chain as far as value locked is Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Binance, BSC we talked about, Bitcoin as a chain. Here's the other tricky thing about Ethereum. Ethereum has other layers built on it called L2s. So as an example, Base is an Ethereum L2, Arbitrum is an Ethereum L2. And technically this money just flows back to Ethereum. So Ethereum is actually even bigger than you think because of that. Now, Solana, again, is very fast growing. I'm going to just point out a couple of things. Active addresses on their blockchain, 437,000 Ethereum active addresses, okay? 5 million Solana. Now, remember I said, like, so people just create. It's a lot of people on Solana. And then again, with Ethereum, you got to count like the L2s as well. So Base has 1.46 million. So technically that goes to ETH. But this just starts letting you see this is the number of active addresses on there. And then this is kind of how it's changing as far as the money spent. But this value locked over here, 76 billion on Ethereum, 9 billion on Solana. Tron, which is more in the Asian market, has 8 billion. And then you see BSC, which is Binance, 5 billion. But I want to go down to something as an example. Like we talked about Cardano. Remember I was saying it's not really used. So like Cardano here is the number 16, has 54,000 active addresses. And $620 million locked on chain. But I want to show you something from a 1 month perspective. This money is up. This is up 80%. So that means that Cardano is starting to get some money on change in the last month. And you can go on and on here. But I'm gonna stop sharing that one right there. What's my point with all of this is that you got CoinMarketCap where you could go learn about the categories, and we're going to look at CoinMarketCap in a second. Then you got DeFi Llama where you could go and you could say like, yo, like where's the money actually being spent? This is how you start identifying investment opportunities yourself. And this is where it's all about you being you own your money, your investment. Like I'm not here to tell nobody what to do with their money. I'm here to share information. I'm a sharer. That's what I am. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to tell you to do nothing. I'm just sharing things, right? Because I believe that, you know, hey, if you discover something or find something, you should come back and share it with your community. And so I try to provide value with the people that are connected to me. And this is part of how I do that. I feel like this podcast could literally be worth money, thousands of dollars, let's use as an example, to somebody who takes some of the information that I've shared and use it for their own life, which, you know, that has happened before. So shout out to Inspire God's People, the podcast. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, please go to youtube.com and look up Inspire God's People and subscribe and share it and like it and all that good stuff. All right. Anyway, Now, what next do I want to look at? I want to go back to CoinMarketCap really quick. Because I think it's important as we talk through all of this stuff. Now I kind of want to wrap it up and let's look at what all of this actually means. Like, how do I take this, Jay, and like start applying it? So remember we're talking about understanding the categories. So I talked to you about ecosystems as an example. So I'm gonna type up here, I'm gonna type Solana ecosystem. I thought it was gonna come up. Hold on. My mic in the way. Oh wait, I thought let's not do it that way. Okay, that was stupid. Let's go to categories here. Oh, here you go. I could just hit so. So this right here is, now we're looking at that ecosystem. So you have the Solana ecosystem here. You could look at like what the top coins, how they're trending, but this is what I want to look at right here. Look, on the right, you have news. So let's say you're like, man, I want to learn about Solana, right? This is how you become a savvy investor for yourself. You look at these articles, you see what stands out. You start just reading a quick article here and there, and then you start learning things. And this is how you start making investment decisions. But this is when we talked about that ecosystem, like the Apple App Store. This is Solana's ecosystem. Some of these projects are specific to Solana, and some of them are on multiple chains. What do I want to look at? I want to look at, let's look at Jupiter to start, right? So Jupiter, right? This is on Solana. This has actually done well this year. Let's see, this year it's done decent, right? For the year. Now, if you go down here to like what it actually is, if I could scroll, why my scroll ain't working? What it actually is. So this is where you go to the what is. Jupiter stands out as a cryptocurrency. It's a decentralized exchange platform built on Solana, and it's where you go to swap. So Jupiter has an app. You can go and download the Phantom app in the Apple App Store, and then you can actually leverage Jupiter from there. But basically, Jupiter is an exchange. It's a store. It's like Best Buy. It's where you go to buy crypto. Now, keep in mind, there are, probably thousands of exchanges now in places you can go to buy crypto. So you don't want to, when you're looking at the ecosystems in these companies, don't overwhelm yourself. I would just advise you to start in one place. Look at one ecosystem. I'm gonna give you another one to look at real quick as a different option versus Solana itself as an ecosystem. So let's now look at the is this gonna let me search this right? Sui ecosystem. Yes, so as I type SWI in here, you could just go to ecosystem, and you see now I got all these projects in SWI's ecosystem. And so I could see what SWI is. I'll just tell you what SWI is, which we looked at this before on a different show, but SWI is a blockchain like a Solana, a base network, but it was created by some executives from Facebook. So there was a team at Facebook that had developed, they were working on Facebook's actual blockchain cryptocurrency project, and that got shut down. So that team went out and branched off into two projects, and one of them is SWI. So SWI is a newer project, but it's starting to make some waves. So it's worth looking at and investing, but understanding like you get a little more risky, like it's the number 16 crypto. But you start looking at its ecosystem. So what I will tell you is that SWI has a very newer, underdeveloped ecosystem. So the way I'm looking at it, and keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm really just sharing how I'm thinking about this. And I could be really wrong or I could be right. We won't know until we look back on this stuff. So don't take everything I'm saying and just go do it. Take these things and kind of go learn for yourself. But I'm going to tell you my thoughts about SWI. SWI has made, let's look at it first and foremost. I mean, that's a good day, 30% just today, 7 days. Look, you see this drop. I was telling people the other day, like I made a post on like Threads or something on Instagram, like This is when you buy, like when you find a good project and you know where you are in the cycle, which is why we having these conversations. This is where you buy. This is where the money is made. And it's like, just that money, if you bought, a couple days ago, you up 30% now, 21% over 7 days, 30% today. Like you put $1,000 in there, you know what I'm saying? You made $300. All right. So Sweetie is interesting because it's been on a tear. You see in the last month, it's up 53%. In the last year, it's up 627%. This is where what I'm saying, where you start dealing with, it's more risky because it's newer. It could go to zero. Don't get caught up in this 600%. Oh, I'm here to tell you this stuff will drop one day, and it will drop heavy. And if you don't understand timing, or if you overly invest and not knowing what you're doing, you will lose some money. So that's why I'm trying to share the educational piece so that you don't just run off and throw your money somewhere because people telling you you're going to get rich. But it is an opportunity to make some money. And this is where it's all tricky. So Sweet to me is in the last year is up 600%. It's a $14 billion market cap, right? So that's a hefty market cap, 14 billion. And if you look at all, that's kind of been the journey since 2023. So this is only a couple years old, right? Now, when I look at it, I'm like, dang, this mug already been up 627% in the last year. And that means to me that it's probably starting to get more value locked on the chain, more people spending in its ecosystem. So that's where my thinking is. Well, I think the big opportunity is in this ecosystem. So for me, I found this like 2 months ago. This has been a decent investment. See this protocol. I go and look at this stuff, read about it. And again, this is only a $259 million market cap, which to me says it probably has a long way to be able to go upside, especially when it's on a up and coming blockchain like a SWI. And you see in the last 7 days, they had that dip. Last month, 15%. It's up and down. But the last year, 582%, right? So you start seeing, and this has only been out, this ain't even been out a year. This came in May this year, right? So this is very new. Now, what is it? It is, this protocol is a Pioneer DEX. So that's decentralized exchange, right? Just means that it is an exchange that's not owned by one person or one company, right? So it's decentralized, a decentralized place where you can go and swap and sell SWI tokens. So just like Ethereum has their exchanges, Solana has their exchanges, because we're talking ecosystem, just like Apple has their apps and Samsung has their apps. SWI, whenever you find a new blockchain, like a SWI or Aptos or Solana, whatever, then you go and you start looking at their ecosystem. And now what I'm trying to do in SWI is go and find who do I think are going to be the winners in the SWI ecosystem. So I'm going and looking and I'm like, okay, this is on SWI and Aptos. Remember we said some things like Instagram, it could be on multiple networks. So what I like about this is that it's on both SWI and Aptos. Aptos is the other blockchain that the group from Facebook, remember, they went and developed 2 projects on the blockchain. One group went and developed SWI. Another group went and developed Aptos. And so for me, I found this a couple months ago and I'm like, bro, like this has some potential. Why? Because again, when I look back here, it is one of the top projects on an up and coming ecosystem, and it's still small enough. It's only the 295th, crypto. But keep in mind, I'm being very risky investing in this because now you're getting deep in that list of the 295th crypto, only $259 million market cap. Like you could lose all your money in this, right? But for me, I'm looking and saying, if SWI continues to do well, I want to be invested in SWI a little bit, maybe. But if I want to really make some real money, then I might have a better opportunity in this. But I went to this, look at what they're doing. SWI is a very fast blockchain. It's really like faster than Solana, I believe. It's very cheap as well. It's not as user-friendly and developed yet, but I also look at it as like, yo, I'm investing in a startup. I'm investing in something very new that has potential. If it does well, I'll make a lot of money. If it does horrible, then I'll lose the money I invested. But I went in investing knowing that I could potentially lose money, and you should always be looking and thinking of it like that. You feel me? Appreciate it, bro. Thank you, D'Angelo, man. I'm happy that it's making some sense. I'm trying my best to share this stuff in a way where people can kind of grasp it. All right, so let's look. Deep Book Protocol is another one. So one of the things you're going to understand is as we look at one ecosystem, they're going to have different categories of companies, right, that you can invest in. And some of them will do the same thing. So look at it like, hey, you bought an iPhone 16 and you want a case. Well, there's an outer box case, and then there's 200, different type of cases on Amazon with a name you never heard of. Then Apple made their own case, right? It's like some of these companies do the same thing, and you're trying to decide as an investor, well, which one do I think is going to be the winner, or which one do I think is going to make me enough money in the short term where I make that money, I'll take some profits, and maybe I sit back and wait for another wave. You got to understand the timing of the market. Don't just rush and jump in without having an education and throw your money at something. You will be mad. Like they said, crypto work, and don't do that. Like be educated. But I want to show you a couple other projects. I really like this one. It's another project. When I say I found it, I'm not saying I found it. Like there are things I watch, articles I read. I did kind of find this one on my own, like meaning just nobody told me about this. I went and did this ecosystem exercise and I found this myself and I was reading on it, went to their Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, their Twitter, their website, read about it. So a couple other things I want to show you. Deep Book Protocol. This has been like a monster. This is newer. Yeah, this only been around since October. So you're talking about a couple months, already up 550%. And so, man, shout out to the people who found this 2 months ago. I probably found it somewhere up in here. I think I found this in November, but it's done pretty well since I found it. But it's early, as you see, but I think this thing has a lot of upside. Now, what is Deep Book Protocol? It's a decentralized central limit book order built on Sui, leverages Sui's parallel execution and low transaction fees to bring a highly performant, low latency exchange on chain. So for me, I like investing in exchanges, meaning I like investing in stores. It's like, hey, Best Buy, Target, Walmart. I like stores because stores sell the stuff, and I believe that people need stores. I'm calling an exchange a store just to make it's not literally a store, but it's the way I'm trying to make it make sense. So like I look for things like that, like, hey, I might invest in 3 different exchanges on here. So as an example, Navi Protocol is another one I found. All right, looking at this, look, this one hasn't done well over the last month. They're not all going to do well. Decent in the last year, 65%, but look at the market cap. $55 million. That means that if this does well, and if it mess around and make it to the market cap of one of these other tokens, it's a lot of money to be made, but it's also risky because it's only $55 million. That is a low cap. That's a micro cap investment, meaning this is like going to invest in the guy that's selling Lions jerseys at the gas station, hoping that one day he opens a store in the mall. Now, if he does, you're the genius that found him. This is like investing in Apple when Steve Jobs and the boys, they were in the garage. What is it? Wozniak, I think is the other name. Like, this is like going and finding Jeff Bezos when he was in the 1-bedroom apartment, with Amazon. So you have to understand the risk you're taking on. But also, if you found Jeff Bezos that early, woo, shout out to you. You rich in the mud. But don't go take all your rent money and invest on this very risky stuff early on because somebody on the internet told you that they made money. I wouldn't do it. Navi Protocol, Again, another one, what do? It's a modular DeFi infra that offers leading lending and LS DeFi on Sui. So again, this does something a little different, but it stands out. It's a lending protocol, right? So this is more about like an exchange, but you could go and do some lending and borrowing against your crypto. Again, super risky. Like with this type of stuff, you just invest small amounts of your money. And you don't go in there thinking that you about to get rich overnight. Look, hopefully this was helpful, man. One more thing I'm going to show you, just so y'all can kind of see. Let me see if I could pull up the Twitter from Navi Protocol, because I think it's important also. Like, I just want to show you really quickly when the way I research and kind of find these things is kind of like, I want to look at everything that I can on it. So this is their Twitter, right? This is their Twitter. I go to their Twitter. They have 110,000 followers. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. They joined in March 2023. And then, hey, from November 6th, you'll see their post in their news, their kind of official news. 25 million total market size milestone. You see, so they'll talk about like, hey, they hit 25 million on November 3rd. Like, they got raffles. But this is where if you invest in a company, like, yo, you want to go and research and see what they're all about. And so that is understanding crypto categories. Hopefully this video has been a help to you. Like I said, man, please let me know if there's more information y'all want to, more videos y'all want to see. Shoot me a comment on the video, the replays. But check out the other part, the videos in the series on Inspire Guys People YouTube page or on my Facebook page. And look, again, like, share, subscribe. Hopefully this is providing value to your life, because that's what it's all about, man. I'm just trying to share some of the things that I've learned along the way. And hopefully, we look up as believers, we become savvy investors, because I think sometimes as Christians, we don't engage things. And we I want to say this before I go. There's so many Christians that they scared of everything as a contributor or investor, but they have no problem using it as a consumer. And so it's like, people are afraid of technology, and technology is dark and evil. Like, trust me, believe me, some stuff is creepy to me. But that didn't stop you from getting an iPhone and talking to Siri every day and uploading your videos of you in the kitchen cooking on Facebook and Instagram. So it's like you're a consumer of technology to the highest degree. I know your favorite color. I know the new car you got. People got their house. I see some of the stuff y'all put on the internet. It make me nervous. I'm nervous for you. You telling all your business. But then as an investor, people will make excuses. And, to me, people scared of money. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. I think some people are scared of money because it's easier to struggle. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, this is the thing about when I start talking like this, I have to give a disclaimer. I talk about poverty in the realest way you gonna hear somebody talk about poverty, because I grew up in it, and it ain't really nothing to sugarcoat. And it's a lot of people that's kind of lazy and they don't have to be poor. A lot of poor people in America ain't even really poor. They're just poor spenders. They're poor financial managers, meaning they make money. I know people that make money and they're always broke. That's not poor. You're not below the poverty line with your money. You just have a poverty mindset as it relates to spending because you worship your wants. I tell people all the time, don't worship your wants. I made a post recently, bro, if you own Gucci, Burberry, Chanel, whatever else is in style, I can't pronounce half of this stuff, and you don't own investments and assets, you out your mind. You out your mind. Now, if you got it, what up, Matt? Appreciate you, bro. Now, if you got it like that, cool. But people they're so afraid of money. But the thing is, you're lazy. So you don't want to learn. You don't want to. And this ain't about me and me, but I'm just sharing this. I've put in hundreds of hours into the stuff that I'm sharing. And then I'm sharing it freely. And it blows me away that I could put hundreds of hours of real effort in reading and learning into something, try my best to share it with everybody, and then everybody ignores it. And then if somebody see me with something valuable, then they want it. But I'm like, but you ain't want the education to get it yourself, though, because you're addicted to your spending. You just see stuff and want it, and you blow money and you don't know how to invest and be a good steward of the money that God gave you and be responsible with it. So this is me trying to share as a believer, hey, how do we become contributors to society and investors and not just consumers? Because we consume like never before, but we don't own a lot of the stuff we consume because it's more comfortable being broke. Like I tell people all the time, being broke ain't as hard as it seems. When you make a couple dollars, it get harder to dream. Like being broke, it ain't that hard sometimes because I'm gonna tell you the superpower. You feel me, D'Angelo? Like here's the superpower in being broke. People don't realize this. Like broke people are some of the most amazing people on earth. I was doing this myself. I'm talking about like how I used to be. You could take $300 and make it last 9 days. And I'm talking about get to the 9th day with $1 left because you knew your check was coming. Broke people are some of the most financially savvy people in the world. They just using their gift in the wrong way. That same person that had $300 and made it last 9 days will take $1,000 and spend it in a day. Versus being like, wait a minute, this is how I looked at it when I first started saving. I'm like, well, I'm used to being broke. That's easy. I know how to navigate being broke. You give me $500, I know how to get the right amount of food, the right amount of gas. We can't get too much gas, can't get too little. Hold on, that bill got a 10-day grace period. I get paid on the 9th day. We gonna hold off on that. Like broke people know how to move money around. The problem is when they get a lump sum of money, they're so good at wasting money and making it get to the end that they just spend the lump sum. So they get 1,000 and be like, ooh, I always wanted these Gucci loafers. I'm going to spend 700 on them and I'm going to just make this 300 last 9 days. But then if I tell that same person about investing, which I've sat in front of many people and done private sessions like this, tell them about investing. I'm going to tell you the number one thing that always stands out to me is people are afraid to invest. You feel me, Jason? Like people are afraid to invest. I have sat down, you feel me, Matt? Like it's actually crazy how much of a superpower broke people have. But I have sat down with broke people who I know have no money saved up, no emergency fund. I'm talking about broke, like not poor though. Work, make good money, get a check, just broke, meaning they're spending every dollar that comes through their hand. And I'm talking like this because I think it's important for you to realize the difference between broke and poor. Like I'm not dogging poor people, meaning you don't have money, you don't make money, you don't have a skill set, you have a health issue. Like I'm not here to down you for being poor. But I will get in the bag on a broke person. Because broke mean you got money and you just spending it wrong. But when I have these private financial sessions with people, the most amazing thing that has blown me away is that broke people are always scared to lose money investing. Huh? What? Huh? Wait a minute. Is this microphone on, people? Hold on. I need to take a sip of this before you would think it was something in here. This is just tea. Broke people are afraid to lose money. I was begging people privately when Bitcoin was $15,000 to just invest $25 a week. But people are afraid to lose $25 on Bitcoin and will go to the local Coney Island and buy $30 worth of chili cheese fries every other day and throw half of them away. Like you wasting money, you going to the mall, you buying all these clothes and shoes that mean nothing. You know how many pair of shoes I got? I'm not even going to tell you. I can't even wear them all. I don't even go enough places that make sense for the amount of Yeezys I have. I'm just being honest with you. I had to stop buying them. I like shoes so much. That's like a guilty pleasure of mine is shoes. I like shoes so much. There is literally never a time in life that I don't want a pair of shoes. Some Fear of God Adidas came out like 2 weeks ago. I think they was $230, $250, $220. Man, it took everything in me not to buy these shoes. I don't need them, but I want them. You feel me? Like, and so my point with all of this is I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I ain't gonna buy these shoes. I'm gonna take that 200 and invest it in something. I promise you that 200 is 400 by now, 350, 300. It don't matter. My point is that same money that you wasting on stuff that you don't need. And it's cool if you got a guilty pleasure. I ain't judging. I got guilty pleasures. Like shoes is a guilty pleasure. I don't need half of them. Again, I got brand new shoes in my closet right now. I got shoes I wore one time. Can't make up somewhere to wear them because I really just be chilling and doing business. I like Cole Haans for my work trips. So it's like when I'm traveling for business, I'm mostly in Cole Haans. I'm not even rocking the Yeezys or whatever else I bought. So it's like, but when I see a new pair of shoes, I want them. What am I saying this to say? It's okay that you have these struggles financially, but it ain't okay that you ain't disciplined to like step away sometimes and resist it. And some of us need to resist. If you ain't them shoes you bought, that watch you bought, you not selling that tomorrow and making no money. That's lost money. Invest in you some Bitcoin. Invest in $20 of Solana and SWE. Like what? Let's just see what happened. Like my thing with people is like, let's just see what happened. If you lose it, you was gonna lose it anyway. That's why I always say never invest more than that you can afford to lose. If you can only afford to lose $20 a month, go ahead, do it. One of the next videos, I think the last video I'm gonna do in this series is gonna be how to buy Bitcoin. And I'm gonna actually walk you through some steps for the people that wanna take that leap into investing. So I appreciate y'all, man, for for coming through here and checking this video out. And again, please, check us out on Inspire Guys People on YouTube. I'm continuing to try to develop content. The goal is develop content that's valuable to you. I'm not going to go viral. That ain't what I'm trying to do. I don't create the kind of content that goes viral. Like, that's just not what I do. So, and I know that, but I'm trying to create content that adds value. So it's a different V for me. It's not viral, it's value. My thing is I look for testimonies off of this show. People that told me they done started business, people that went back to school, people that fixed their credit off of episodes we did. So like, I'm saying we, because like there was an episode I did with Lavelle. I interviewed the CEO of this banking organization that they did some things helping people with their finances, with paying off credit card debt. Somebody just said the other day they're in that program. So like this podcast is about value, not viral. And so it's like, I don't care if 5 people watch it, 10 people watch it or whatever. If I can get one person to have a testimony of like, yo, I turned my life around. Like I was addicted to spending money on stuff that I didn't need. I was afraid to take the leap to invest. Like I was afraid to invest in something. I'm going to say this, man, before I jump out of here. Ken, what up, bro? How you feeling, my man? Thank you for jumping on, bro. I'm going to say this before I get out of here. Like, we're talking about a mindset. What I'm really trying to do is deconstruct and destroy the poverty mindset in people. And I know it's not going to happen to everyone, but for the people who listen to this show, like we're attacking poverty at its core, which is in your mind. One thing I know about people who are afraid to invest are also afraid to invest in themselves, because it's a spiritual mindset, I believe, of being afraid to take a leap before you see a result, which to me goes back to faith. Now, I'm not trying to say you investing in crypto is directly about faith. What I'm saying is that there's a mindset in people that I see. The same people who struggle to have faith struggle to invest. The same people who struggle to start a business or believe in themselves, they struggle to invest, because it is a mindset of, I need to know for sure and see a result before I take one step. And what you're going to have to learn how to do is read the Bible, right? Compare and contrast, get a commentary, just like we broke down Solana and what it is. Go read a commentary for like, all right, what is this scripture talking about? What is Peter talking about here? What is Paul talking about? What they talking about in Psalms? And you start breaking the Bible down like that. And then you start saying, okay, wait, what is faith? What do Hebrews 11 say? Oh, you know what? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. First of all, how you got evidence for something that ain't been seen? breathe, breathe in, breathe. Oh, it gets deep. Evidence of things not seen. See, faith is like something that God really uses because it's you trusting him and taking a leap of faith, quote unquote, pun intended, before you see a result. The reason some of us ain't never gonna get nowhere, some people gonna always be poor, not because you gotta be, but because you live through a mindset. You see everything in life through a mindset of, I have to see results before I put in action. Let me tell you something. When I was leading this one team, appreciate y'all, man. What up, Roz? How you feeling? Thanks, man. Matt, I got husband and wife on here. I'm doing something, man. Y'all done made my night. Like, the thing about this is, in order to have faith, you got to be able to trust God first. And the scary thing for some of us is we are our own worst enemy. We ain't never gonna take a step and we gonna blame other people, and we not gonna look in the mirror and say, you know what? You had an opportunity and you missed it. When I was leading this one national sales team back in 2021, I was leading a national sales team, and we were responsible for, our target for the year was $10.6 million in new business for the organization. By the grace of God, I think we finished at 12.1. We over-delivered by the grace of God. Had a few big wins. I had a good team. But there was somebody on my team that I knew this person wasn't going out and looking for opportunities. What this person was doing, and I don't, this is no disrespect to that individual, but it was a person, what they were doing was they were kind of, as a salesperson, they were sitting back and they were waiting on opportunities to come to them. And every time we would meet in our one-on-ones, I would say, well, how many phone calls did you make? Like, how many emails did you send? And I had a message to my team. If you produce maximum activity, if you put forth maximum activity, you will produce maximum outcome. And what I'm saying by that is, like, in order for you to get 3 new customers, 3 new wins, 3 new business conversions, you're going to have to call 30 people. Oh, listen, bro, it's 7 no's. It's 7 no's before you get to a yes. It's 10 no's sometimes. Like, my thing is, some people reached out to 4 people looking for 4 yeses. You're not going to sell 4 people, bro. So what's my point is, like, you have to have maximum activity. The more people you call, if you call 100 people, right, you might get 10 new wins. If you call 30 people, you might get 3. My thing is, if you just assume a 10% success rate in your sales transaction, and this is when you actually get engaged with people, then that lets you know, well, in order to reach my target, I need to have maximum activity. The way I look at investing and opportunities is this. Understand the moment in time and history that you live in. This is what I want you to think about. This is what I want you to think about. If I was born in the early 1900s, I would have found a way to invest in the car when Henry Ford was making it. If I was here when I was about to say Benjamin Button, what's my name with the electricity, bro? Hold on, let me take a sip. You know it's time for me to get off here. I almost called the homie Benjamin Button. My point is, okay, if I was savvy enough and more mature in the early 2000s and the late 90s, I would have caught Netflix, I would have caught Amazon. For me, it's about understanding at every point in history, there is an opportunity. There is a technology, or the car was coming, or the radio was coming, or social media. Think about the people who are big time influencers on YouTube or something now. Like, these people started before the wave. The problem with us is we see somebody do something and we're like, hey, whoa, I want to go do that because this person made $20 million. It's like, nah, bro, they made $20 million because they did it first. They was there before y'all. My point is, for me, I am very understanding and aware of the moment in history I live in. and the specific opportunity for this time. If I was born when Frederick Douglass was, then I would have been focused on how do we escape slavery, and that would have been my legacy, and I would have been thinking about that just like they did and strategizing for that. That was the opportunity of their lifetime. For some people, lifetime, it was like, hey, we need to get the right for the people to vote. Okay, cool. That was their lifetime. For some people, it was like, hey, we need the right to get benefits from the war we fought. Okay, cool. That was their. What I'm saying is there is an opportunity in every generation. This, in my mind, we've had several. We had the housing crash in 2008, and you could have bought houses for pennies on the dollar and been wealthy now, and some people did that. We've had multiple crypto cycles. We've had stock market. We've had Silicon Valley, Netflix, Tesla, Apple, all these stocks. This is the opportunity right now. And so, Thomas, you know what, bro? Thank you so much. Thomas, I called the homie Benjamin Button, bro. I don't know, man. It's something wrong. I started investing a little at a time, and once I'm seeing my money grow, I kept investing. That's how you do it. It's really about you. But here's the message. Thanks for sharing that, Marvette. The message I want you to take today is scared money don't make money, bruh. How you scared? Look, I'm just gonna be honest. I grew up so broke. Being broke don't scare me. You know why? We had love in our house. See, it's a weird way that God worked. Like, we ain't had money, but we had love. And we had enough money to make it do what it do. So it's like, all right, worst case scenario for me, I'm gonna just end up with love because that's what my parents put in me. That's how I grew up. That it was love. It was a genuine family. So like, okay, cool. I'm gonna either make some money or absolute worst case scenario. And that gotta be a worst case scenario because I'm not broke no more. And I mean, it would take a lot for me to be broke at this point, but even if I just went broke, it's like, I did it before. I survived. I'm a broke survivor. I should do a documentary called Surviving Broke. Like, how did I do it? Yeah, well, what we would do is I would go to Burger King and I would get one cheeseburger on the dollar menu and a small fry, and ask my friend, could I borrow $1 to get a milkshake to complete the meal? I really did that in college. Shout out to Kels for all them dollars, bro. I appreciate you. My point is, I've been broke before. What we scared of? Why is it so many broke people scared to be broke? Like, bro, if you have an opportunity, and now keep in mind, I'm talking about if you educate yourself first. I'm not saying go take your money because I said something about crypto and go like throw it into crypto. I'm saying what I'm sharing on these last 3 videos, to me, it's impossible if you graduated 12th grade to watch these last 3 videos I did and not have a better understanding of crypto. And I got like 2 more videos coming, and we're going to end it all with like showing you how to actually buy crypto. But my point is, educate yourself, research, and then just start. Like, sometimes you got to learn by investing. And this is the one thing I do want to tell you is that, hey, this is wild. This is crazy that you would say this. Whoever you are shady. You are shady. Go Lions, baby. We ain't afraid of it. We going for it on 4th down, 5th down, no timeouts, 2 minutes left in the game. We ain't kicking no field goals. That's right. I'm from Detroit where it's all risk. And on some real stuff, I'm being real. I grew up, I made it through the D, like in Detroit. I made it through the city, like surviving that, bro. Like, you survive in Detroit growing up. I lived on 7 Mile, fam. Like, and I tell people like this, like, I survived 7 Mile and I wasn't in the streets. I wasn't a hood dude. Like, so it's like people be bragging about growing up in the hood and they in gangs and all that. I'm like, well, you got a whole crew of killers with you, bro. I had to navigate y'all by myself. Dan Campbell out his mind, fam. But on some real stuff, man, like honestly, I'm thinking about it. Like, sometimes you gotta do like the Detroit Lions, bro. You gotta go for it. Like, forget it. Like, what you kicking for? We been losing all this time. Like, on some real junk, you just sparked something, bro. Like The Lions been losing for years. Like, we don't care. Go for it. You see the whole city is with it. It's a couple people on Facebook that be losing it and tripping and about to cry. Like, bro, I'm with Dan Campbell. Like, bro, we been losing. We know what that feel like. So if we lose, like, you survived it. Like, now it's time to go for it. Now it's time for some of us out here to go for it in our lives. Go for opportunities to make something better out of our lives. Because I'm just going to keep it a thou wow with you. Don't think you about to just be hitting me up. See, this is my contribution to society. This is my contribution. And keep in mind, I'm now talking about this public for the past 4 years, friends, family. I've done private sessions with family members. Like, I'm telling people, this is a free, I should be charging you. I'm giving you free game. You can make money. I've helped people make money. I know, like, and I'm not even saying I'm not the smartest crypto person. I'm just practical. I'm just a normal everyday guy. There's people way smarter than me. They know all the details of the lines and the technical and all the money supply and all this stuff. I follow that stuff, but I ain't no expert. I just know common sense. So here's the point I'm making. Like, this is my contribution, bro. But please don't see, this is why I tell people, don't see people with success or money and think you deserve it or you're entitled to it. You ain't put in that work. You ain't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and read them articles like me, bro. Like, I be reading, I put in hundreds of hours in this. I'm dead serious. MicroStrategy versus BTC. I'll say this, and then I'm gonna get out of here. MicroStrategy, I missed that one. I just did. To me right now, MicroStrategy is just too high. Like, I missed it. Sometimes in investing, this is crazy. When I say I miss MicroStrategy, it's somebody that it's a finance dude that I follow, and just like I'm telling y'all this right now, he been talking about MicroStrategy for a few years. He said to do this. Some people made millions of I think his community is like 30 millionaires out of his community from following him, and I follow him long enough to know, like, my man be on it. And for me, I was invested in other things and I didn't know enough about it and I didn't put in the time to research it. I always research something before I invest in it, even if it's quick research, even if it's just like, okay, 20, 30 minutes of understanding what it is. And I just miss MicroStrategy. So for me, sometimes you just got to chalk up things as an L, like I missed that one, and move on to the next. So, all right, thank you all so much for checking this out. Please do subscribe to Inspire God's People on YouTube, and let me know if you got some more videos or types of content that you want to see in here. And please do share this video with a friend if it's somebody out there that you know need to wake up to invest in themselves and have bigger vision beyond poverty and have a growth mindset and do it through the lens of being a believer, trusting in the Lord to lead us on this walk. This ain't no get rich quick. I'm not promising you anything, but I believe if you take on these learnings and start executing this mindset, that you will become a better person, better as a believer, so on and so forth. So that's what I believe. Maybe you were thinking Benjamin Franklin. You know what? Roz, thank you for correcting me and your husband. Yes, that's exactly who I was thinking of. Benjamin Franklin, and I almost said Benjamin Button, 100%. Keep an eye on Hodl's, good player. No doubt, no doubt. Appreciate it, fam. Hodl, I'll check that out. Listen, man, love y'all. God bless y'all. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. And I got